That manifestation was created by your thoughts of the past, which means that your thoughts of the present moment are also creating the next future, like after that one. Hello, my dear gods and goddesses. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're not new, I literally never once got that sentence right in my life, I believe. But here we are. Today I would love to teach you what the heck you're supposed to do when you're just kind of waiting for your manifestations to pop up and you're trying not to go crazy. Is it a waste of time? Should I give up on manifesting that thing? I'm going to answer all of those questions today. But before we get into it, guys, go check out my merch if you haven't already. You can come follow me on my personal Instagram, Janelle Godin. You can also follow my Instagram page called 6 AM Society, where I speak about psychology, philosophy, and spirituality. You can also join my Facebook group called 6 AM Society, where we help each other manifest what we want in life. You can also, if you would love some personal coaching, come find me on the website Fiverr. You can also come find me on that same website if you would love to have some help with your interpersonal relationships. I'm a psychology major and I love to think that I'm pretty good at giving relationship advice. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I wrote on my list is to either forget about it if you can, or if you can't forget about it, you need to correct yourself every time it pops up. It's okay if you think about it 24/7, as long as you're thinking about it in a way that is in alignment with the way that you want it to pop up in your life. But I will say that most of the time, when someone thinks about their manifestation 24/7, it's more often than not because they don't fully believe that they're going to receive it. And therefore, their thoughts, or those thoughts that pop up when they do, aren't in alignment with them already having that thing that they want. So keep that in mind. So yeah, step number 1, forget it if you can. If you can't forget about it and you think about it 24/7, make sure that those thoughts are in alignment with you already having that thing you're trying to get. All I'm saying right now is that if they do pop up 24/7, chances are they're not in alignment with you already having them. So that's why the first thing I mentioned was to correct them every single time they pop up, okay? So if you think multiple times a day, I need to lose weight, that could be why you're not losing weight. You need to start replacing those thoughts with I'm skinny in order for your self-image to change from I'm fat to I'm skinny, so that you start taking actions that are in alignment with the reality of you being skinny. Okay? Your self-image needs to change, and then the actions will follow more easily. It will be easier for you to eat healthy once your self-image changes. It will also be easier for you to go to the gym when your self-image changes, because that's going to be who you are. It's going to become who you are. It's kind of counterintuitive. Like, we tend to think like, no, I'll lose weight and then I'll start seeing myself as someone who's skinny. You need to do, I know that it's hard, but you need to do the opposite. The second step that I wrote on my list is that you need to return to your life, your responsibilities, what you're good at, how you like to spend your time, all of those things. You just need to return to them and forget about the law of attraction every once in a while. And I don't mean like forget about the law of attraction to the point where if negative thoughts pop up, you don't correct them. You need to correct your thoughts all day long. Like, you can't, like, life is too short. Life is just too short to allow yourself to ever have thoughts that aren't in alignment with the reality that you want. But I'm just saying, what I mean by forget about the law of attraction sometimes is that if you're just kind of staring at your phone screen thinking, when is it going to manifest? Let's say that you're trying to manifest a text from someone, and all day long you're just staring at your phone screen saying, how come I didn't get that text yet? How come I didn't get that text yet? You're not returning to your normal life. You're not letting it go. You need to let it go sometimes, even if only for a few minutes. It's going to be very beneficial to you. So there's actually something that my therapist shared with me that I want to share with you guys because it immensely helped me. So basically, there's a scale, and there's, at the top you have the spiritual, like being spiritual, and at the bottom of the scale you have the practical world, so like being practical. So on top you have be, and then you have be do, then you would have do be, and then at the very bottom is do. in order to get to the top of the scale, or in order to deserve to be at the top of the scale, which is BB, which is when you get to do yoga and meditate and do your affirmations and do journaling and do scripting and vision boards, and without it being a waste of your time and without it being counterproductive, you need to get rid of all of those responsibilities, like basic life responsibilities that you don't get to neglect. Like, you need to take action so that you earn, like, just being, like, just relaxing and just letting go, right? Or else you're gonna try to let go and you won't even be able to let go. It's like, have you guys ever tried meditating when you had like an exam coming up or something, or you had a bunch of things to do that you were neglecting, and it's like, it was extremely hard for you to meditate because you didn't feel like you even had the time to meditate? That's what I'm saying. You need to take care of your basic life responsibilities first, and then you get to spend some time meditating and practicing the law of attraction, okay? That's why I love to start my day with a good to-do list, so that the second half of my day can just be spent vibing, literally, and that's when my manifestations pop up. But you have to get rid of your basic life responsibilities that you have to go through first. If you have an assignment due tomorrow, maybe don't scroll through your Pinterest vision board for 2 hours today. You know what I mean? I forgot to mention this while I was filming, but I just remembered that I saw a quote the other day that like perfectly illustrated this, and it said, sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is telling someone to fuck off. And you might say, what does that have to do with what you were just saying? It has to do with what I was just saying, because like, being spiritual isn't like meditating 24/7. Like, you have to return to your normal life sometimes, and your normal responsibilities and normal reactions and normal actions. Like, you need to spend some time in do in order to go to do be, and then be do, and then be, okay? So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. The third step, or the third thing that I wrote down that you have to do when you're waiting for your manifestations to show up, is that you need to start acting, feeling, and behaving and thinking the way that you would if you knew that your manifestation was going to happen for sure. I'll give you an example. So I remember I was trying to manifest a specific person, and I was spending a lot of my time like anxious and like neglecting myself and neglecting my responsibilities, because I was so focused on manifesting that specific person, and I was so set on, I will allow myself to be happy and productive when that person comes along in my life. And eventually I ended up actually manifesting them. And as soon as I manifested them, it was like I cleaned my room, I worked out, and I was like, couldn't I have just done this before they arrived? If I knew that they would have arrived anyway, like, why was I preventing myself from taking care of myself just because there was an ant on my foot? I was thinking, like, why was I preventing myself from living life before they arrived? If I would have known that they would have arrived anyway at some point, I would have started taking care of myself and enjoying my life way earlier. And then you just kind of look back at your past and you're like, I wasted so much of my time, like I wasted so much of my life. Like, in between your manifestations is the rest of your life. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, sometimes you really want something and you obsess over it, and that's natural, but like, don't forget to live. I'm going to look at what else I wrote. Okay, one like train of thought or idea that might help you guys like let go a little bit so that you can return to your life and live life normally while you're waiting for your manifestations, is the idea that it helped me, so it might help you, but it's just the fact that you don't see what's happening in the back the scenes while you're waiting for your manifestations to pop up. Like, you might think that your manifestation isn't anywhere near you, but it actually is. But you can't see it. It's in the back the scenes. It's in the making. It's like you're taking steps, and with between every step, like when your foot is still in the air, your thoughts are like creating the ground that your foot is going to land on as you're taking your steps. Like, that's like, I don't know, I feel like that's just like a little metaphor for you guys. Like, your thoughts you guys, that's the thing. A lot of you you think that you believe in the law of attraction, and listen, everybody starts somewhere, but some of you still aren't on the level yet where you truly realize that your thoughts are creating the future. That's why I'm bringing up like you create like the ground that your feet land on, like as you're taking steps. Like your thoughts are literally creating what's happening in 2 minutes, and tomorrow, 2 weeks from now. But you don't really, like, we tend to forget it. I mean, I think that it's healthy that we forget it sometimes, or else we would go insane, you know what I mean? But, and if you say like, what the hell, like, no, it's not true that what I think right now is what's going to manifest in 2 minutes from now. Yes, but you don't really realize it, because a lot of our manifestations of our near future are created by the thoughts that we've entertained for years. Like, that's why I always tell you guys, like, if you accidentally manifest something that you didn't want, realize that that manifestation was created by your thoughts of the past, which means that your thoughts of the present moment are also creating the next future, like after that one. You know what I mean? So it's like just reminding myself about that, like helps me gain courage that changing my thoughts now and curating the quality of my thoughts now is going to be rewarded. And if I don't see the results right away, it's because there's thoughts of the past that are still coming by, that still have to manifest. But slowly but surely, my thoughts of the now are going to become the thoughts of the past. So the future is going to look more and more like, the future is increasingly going to look the way I want it to. Maybe not right away, but if I keep persisting, and if I keep changing my thoughts and correcting my thoughts every time that they're not in alignment with the reality that I want, eventually my future is going to start looking more and more precisely what I want, like precisely like what I want. Like, I'm going to be able to manifest with more and more accuracy. The last thing that I want to tell you guys is that I actually told you guys about this in my How to Let Go video, but energy travels in the form or in the shape of a wave. So if you're not seeing your manifestations yet, or if you're like in a rut or in a phase where your manifestations aren't coming through as quickly as you would love them to, I'm talking about like your intentional manifestations, obviously, the things that you want. If you're not seeing any of those happening right now, it's because you're in a down. Don't lose hope. The next up is coming, and you better be ready when it does. So start thinking now. Start, changing your self-image now. Like, if I'm trying out for a ring at team, do I want to be the worst player on the team when I make the team? No. Like, I better actually be in shape when I start playing for that team. Like, I don't want my manifestation to come before I'm ready. Like, I don't want to make that team or that Renette team before I'm good enough to be on it. Like, when people tell me like, Janelle, you have to take action in life in order to get what you want. You can't just like wish things into being. Yeah, no shit. I want to make a Renette team, so I'm training for it. I'm training my ass off for it. Does that change anything? I'm physically tackling that goal, and I'm also mentally tackling that goal, and I'm also spiritually tackling that goal. I'm doing the whole 360 approach in order to make that damn Renette team. Does that change anything? No. If anything, that makes me a lot more likely to make it. It makes things more likely to manifest. Because if you're constantly and 100% of the time spending your time in the practical world, which is at the bottom of the scale that I showed you guys earlier, you're going to find life very boring. I used to be very practical. Like, I used to spend all of my time at the bottom of the scale. Like, I used to spend my time in the practical world all the time. And was I doing good grades in school? Yeah. But like, that was about it. Like, nothing about my life was truly fulfilling or interesting or exciting. That's why I decided to start implementing my law of attraction practice back into my life. Like, I've I told you guys that I've been learning about the law of attraction for the past 7 years of my life, which is true, but there's been phases where I didn't want none to do with it anymore. And it's because sometimes when you don't see your manifestations as quickly as you would love them to, it makes you want to give up. And which is why I'm making this video right now. I'm telling you guys all of the things I wish that someone would have told me at those times. I hope that this video was helpful, guys. I think that's enough for today. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also click the notification bell so that you're notified every time I post a video. My name is Janelle Godin, here with Janelleloa, and I'll see you later. Bye.